Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you like these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, right now at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today, we are introducing the ultimate sapphire sandwich. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch 50th Anniversary Limited Edition of 1,957 pieces, a 2007 model year special. This is one of the most sophisticated, and I must say discreetly sophisticated Moonwatch special editions you will ever encounter. Let's start with the basics. It's stainless steel, it's 42 millimeters in diameter, and from lug to lug, it's the familiar profile of the Moonwatch, 48.5 millimeters, 53.9 if you include the solid end links across the wrist. So I recommend this watch for a wrist of 14 centimeters or larger in circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 20 millimeters, but none of this is new to you. 13.2 millimeters is the thickness, however, and that's a bit thinner than a standard Moonwatch. So what makes this one different? Well, aside from the fact that it's a limited edition, let's start with the basics. It features a custom caliber, an enamel dial, and a Frédéric Piguet base movement. All of that with hand finishing on the caliber, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the bracelet. 3 links. You can see, due to the interaction of end links and lugs, that this is just the latest in a long-running, and by that I mean 60-plus year series of bracelets to be integrated with a Moonwatch case link. So it's not quite as flush as what you'll get with a Rolex bracelet, but it's nicely integrated. The links themselves are handsome. A 3-link design with polished intermediates and polished flanks. You can see these days all of the removable links are sized with screws, and that was true dating back to special editions in the 2000s. The clasp is basically what you'll get on a diver 300 meter, with the exception of the fact that this does not have the internal dive extension. Now, special detail, take advantage of the simple love invested in this watch. Loop, examine, and re-examine, because this is the vintage Omega logo and marquee that you're going to see on the dial. I mentioned that this watch is discreet and subtle, and it's certainly that. You can see vintage Omega logo and marquee matching on the clasp as well as the dial. The twin trigger architecture of the clasp makes it very solid, as does the fully milled out clasp design. You have 3 different anchoring points for precise sizing. Now, from the side, there's not a whole lot to see or a whole lot to set it apart, but you can see that it's a classical case band. You want your Moonwatch to look like a Moonwatch, not like a circus. This timepiece has satin finished flanks, it has the flared polished bevel, and it has the traditional shear guards first implemented on the 105012 in 1965. Also, note once again that vintage Omega logo. The attention to detail runs strong with this one. Sapphire caseback, sapphire dial, and the dial, a glorious black enamel. How hard is it to find black enamel? Well, you can pick up a Patek Philippe 5016 Grand Complication with a black dial and get nothing but black lacquer. It's difficult to execute. It shows all flaws, and indeed this is one of the best black enamels I've ever seen executed. It's lustrous, glossy, deep. It appears like wet paint, and perpetually so, as it never tarnishes, oxidizes, or fades. That's the beauty and the advantage of enamel. It also has a rich and very subtle pebbly texture to it. There's small undulations and flaws, showing that this is in fact a handmade component, and it's beautiful for that. High contrast white on black print. It's everything a Moonwatch should be, and it doesn't, again, look like a freak show the way some Omega Speedmaster limited editions do. It's subtle. You have a chronograph, but look at this. I pull the crown out and it stops the seconds. This one has hacking seconds. What else? Well, look at that. There's no jump to the seconds hand as it starts or stops. This one has a vertical clutch. How is all that possible? Well, it's possible because when you turn over the case, you realize that this one has more in common with Blancpain and Breguet than it does with most Omegas. This is the Omega manual wind 55-hour caliber 3201. 3201 is based on the 3313 chronograph, and you can see it has some of the characteristics of a bald chronograph movement in its lack of, let's see if we can get a little bit closer and a little bit better focus, in its lack of features across the bridge, but the advantage of that is that you get to see everything. You can see the balance beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it's a free-sprung balance, not a mobile stud index. The movement, a coaxial chronometer featuring the George Daniels tangential contact multi-level coaxial escapement system that remains one of the most sophisticated in the industry. It's a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It features both hacking seconds and a column wheel vertical clutch tandem. You can see the column wheel operating just underneath my finger, interacting with its horns and levers. The column wheel, as well as most of the screws, have been kiln-fired, oxidized to create that blue, not dyed blue. The rest of the screws, as featured, are black polished, and there's a mirrored chamfering or anglage on the edge of each bridge. You can also see many of the individual components are highly finished with either satin graining or black polish, and there's a handsome linear cote de Genève across the components themselves, across the bridges, beautifully aligned. This is a higher level of finish than you're going to see even on the conventional sapphire sandwich with its caliber 1863. And again, this is a 100-meter water-resistant case, 50 meters more than the standard Moonwatch. So not only is it a high horology caliber with an enamel dial, but this one's actually swimmable, unlike the standard Moonwatch. Sapphire on the back, sapphire on the top, limited edition and very special. Thanks to the vertical clutch system, you can simply leave the chronograph engaged with no hazard to the movement, a watch for which superlatives simply exhaust themselves. See it on the watch box. Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch 60th Anniversary.